If you're learning screenwriting and wondering if story structure is important, in this video I'll provide you with arguments and explain why story structure is important and why you need it in order to write your own perfect script.
When I decide to be a screenwriter, a storyteller, do I need to follow my instincts to write? Or is this theory helpful? Is it giving you wings?
This is Levan and I'm Zuka. We are the creators of this channel.
I don't want to have an inciting incident in my movie. My movie works without it, somebody might suggest. But I bet if you write a script, and then you rewrite the script, and then you rewrite the script, and then you rewrite the script after 8 years of rewriting, and you have this best, perfect version of your script, it's gonna have the inciting incident in it. It's just an example of inciting incident. I bet you're gonna have all those 36 or whatever amount of steps that you can collect from various books and observations. Suddenly somebody comes to you, a teacher or a guru or a book that tells you, okay, your story should consist of this and this and this and this and this and this and these steps. And it's natural to resist and say, I don't want that. I want it out of thin air. The instinct is right. I don't want a burden on my creativity. But if I'm open-minded, then I can approach and really understand what the teachings are about, not to limit myself, but to free myself from those teachings. If you resist the knowledge, all you're doing is wasting your time arriving to the same conclusions over the years, and the conclusions you could have read by other authors who have done the job before you. But you're afraid that if you read somebody else's method, or read is one thing, but then if you try, it's gonna spoil your creativity.
Let's hear what Levan has to say about where these stories come from, because where the stories come from are tightly connected to story structure itself.
I always wonder where do these stories come from, because if it's a biopic or if it's based on real story, yes, but there are so many wonderful stories that have never happened, could not have happened. They're like music, because music is like out of thin air, it's kind of there, and then somebody finds it and presents it to you to listen. And stories are also like that. They are somewhere out there, but they cannot see it. And then suddenly, as you write, it becomes something. Because if you think, where does this theory come from? It's not like somebody sat down and designed the theory of how to write a good book, and then he gave this theory to Shakespeare or to some ancient guy who invented a legend that has worked and didn't get lost in the history. It's not like that. It's like evolution theory of stories. So there were many variations of stories that have been written, that over the evolution the stories were competing, and those stories that have succeeded are designed with some similarities. And if you would claim that you are gonna write the story that's gonna be successful over time, then I bet your story is gonna have the same similarities as those ancient and recent stories have.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Right now I'd like to remind you to click the subscribe button, like button and notification button, so every time we upload a new video you'll be notified, and we'll be uploading tons of videos and we'll go in depth about the structure and all of its components. And why is it a good idea to listen to us? I'll let Levan give you an answer for that too. So bye.
You can always go and take a class from a professional screenwriter, someone as great as Truby, or there are so many great books you can read about screenwriting. But then there is this, the idea that there are two guys who have done and wrote stories that have been produced, and they share their perspective. And we wouldn't start this channel and this blog if we didn't believe that there were very intense findings that had led to great discoveries about how storytelling works. And those discoveries are not necessarily out there on internet or in books, so we are here to share. This is what it is.